Hello, everybody, and welcome.
Hola a todos y bienvenidos.
We're happy to have you. Oh,
Estamos muy
Liliana,
contentos de que estén aquí con nosotros.
I'm going to go ahead and put you on. There we go. So we do have Spanish interpretation.
Tenemos intérprete en español.
And let's make sure it's
Vamos a
working.
asegurarnos de que esté todo bien.
For some reason, Liliana, I can hear you still. Let me figure out why.
Ms. Beth, am I supposed to, do you want me to sign out and sign in again? Because I didn't see the world.
Oh, yeah. Let's try. Are you under your work email?
Yes, yes.
Let me try really quick again. There we go. That's all right. Okay, let's see if that works, Miss Liliana. How is that? Okay, now I don't hear you. So I think we've got the interpretation going. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for allowing us that 2.5 years in, we're still having technical difficulties. So I appreciate everybody's grace. And as we get started tonight, thank you all for joining us. We're really excited to have Julie Sando join us. I'm going to introduce Kelly. My name is Beth Burt. For those who don't know us, I am the executive director of the Autism Society and a proud parent of 2 young men, one of whom has autism. So I'm happy to have you guys all here. This is our family, this is our community, and we're all here to learn. We're very excited. Joining me tonight is also Kelly Lundenberg. Kelly is one of our board members and also is our chair of our panel of advisors. And Kelly was the one who discovered Julie was actually a local girl and reached out to her, and Julie was kind enough to join us tonight. So we're super excited. We've been seeing Julie's great work on Facebook, and it's great to know that she's local. So we can't wait to see her presentation. Kelly, do you have anything you want to share?
That's great. Good job.
Thank you. All right. Well, Julie, we're going to turn it over to you. Kelly and I will go dark, but you will see, we'll be here if you need anything, just yell, and I'll be monitoring the chat. So away we go.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here. I'm so grateful to each and every one of you and for the work that you guys are doing. So thank you so much. I'm going to share my screen here. Here we go. And I'm going to go into presenter mode. Give me 1 second. All good. Okay. So hopefully everyone can see what I've got here. Welcome to Words Beyond Speech, the game-changing lives of text-based communicators. So I've got a presentation tonight for you. We're going to go into what it's going to look like. So I'm going to do a bigger introduction on myself and my history coming up soon, so I'll save that. But tonight you're going to see typing and spelling as a tool for communication in action. We've got 3 different non-speakers who are sharing their thoughts with you 1 letter at a time. And you're going to be able to learn about the brain-body disconnect and how to help your unreliable speaker gain access to a life of possibilities through these 26 letters. So 3 different spellers, as I mentioned. Jake's going to be sharing about the brain-body disconnect. My man James has letters, a series of letters to all of you. And Jacob has a story as a new communicator who turns out isn't the picky eater we thought he was. So we've got a ton of great stuff, ton of videos, all sorts of things to be sharing with you tonight. We're going to have Jake take it away with the brain-body disconnect. Now we've got some videos because all of our spellers, it takes time to be able to put their thoughts together. And so we have some videos that we've prepared for you tonight. So we're going to start with Jake's presentation.
This is the brain-body disconnect, bridging the gap towards reliable communication with me, Julie Sando, and my friend, Jake Reisman. So who are we? I'm an assistive technology specialist, and I'm the director of Autistically Inclined. I focus on connection and communication with parents, professionals, self-advocates, and future self-advocates. And this is Jake. Jake, tell us about you.
Hello. I am Jake Reisman, and I am a high school student who loves to learn about humans through history. I believe we can make a big difference when we learn from history.
I couldn't agree more, Jake. Those are wise words. Let's jump in. As you can see, Jake communicates through typing.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to share with you.
And this is what it looks like.
It's coming. Let me know if there's, so it looks like the video's pausing a bit here. All right, I'm going to pause it for a second and see if it catches up. Oh, the suspense. Can you guys feel it? We're about to show you what it looks like. This is nice, natural suspense. Oh, fun technology. All right. Well, Jake is getting ready to spell a welcome message. I'm not quite sure how this is going here, why this is pausing. Let's see if I can fast forward a second. Whoop. It's getting stuck right there. Okay, well, Jake has a beautiful video that I am not sure why this might be a little problem here because we've got lots of video for you. I'm going to go to the next one just to see what happens. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a second. Let me go back here. Sorry, guys. I am not quite sure. I'm going to try switching networks here and see if that helps. Thank you for your patience. Here we go. All right, drum roll for Jake.
And this is what it looks like.
Oh.
C
Oh.
O M E. Welcome. E V E R Y O N E. Everyone. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I A M M S
hearing the sound. Let's
C
go for that.
I T E D. Excited. T H O 2
Good. Keep going.
S H A R E. Share. I am so excited to share with you.
Excellent. And let me know if the sound's not working. It should be.
We are so excited to hear from you. So first, I want to share a little bit about my timeline, give you some background. So here we are. I started off in the autism community in 1998 doing ABA, much like how most of us begin. And at that time, I was believing that autism was mainly a behavioral disorder. And I found myself feeling robotic in that role, and it just wasn't resonating with what I was fully wanting at that time. And I found a relationship-based approach, which then helped me to start to see autism as more of a social disorder. So I jumped in with 2 feet. I did a whole bunch of training, and after that training, I was really relieved to be able to be with kids in this way and really have permission to love them, right? That's what I really loved about that switch. But I realized that I still was this walking technique, right? If A, then B. If the child does this, we all have to respond like that. And it just didn't have that natural human element. And so when I left, I created my own company called Autistically Inclined back in 2009. And within a couple years, I had created a program called Natural Play Therapy that was based on this whole idea of letting go of techniques and really just being human with these humans and really working on goals in a more natural way. We all have goals as humans, and just letting go of the whole program mentality. So that's what I jumped into. And several years later, I had a huge aha moment, which I will be sharing more specifically about in a little bit. But this aha moment helped me recognize autism more as a sensory motor disorder. And that was life-changing. So fast forward several years, I have now rebranded and launched new content online training programs helping people learn how to connect and communicate. So that's my timeline. Let's get to know Jake a little bit better here. So Jake, you were born in 2002 and you started speech therapy right away around the age of 2 3/4. And it wasn't until you were 14 when you guys started to explore alternative communication, which brought us together the next year in 2017 when you were 15. So tell us about that.
I have been in speech therapy practically my whole life. And it felt like we were endlessly working on the same stuff over and over, no matter how old I got. Say cow, cow. Ow. Cow, cow, cow. 100 times. Say cow. My brain screamed cow, but my mouth did not always say what I wanted it to say. So we kept working on cow. And sometimes my voice worked. But there is so much more than cow inside my head. My anxiety goes through the roof when my body does not listen to my mind.
It just has to be so frustrating when there's so much more inside and to not be able to get it out. So I'm really sorry that you had to go through all of that. Whew. Okay, guys, so now that you know a little bit about us, let's go over today's learning objectives. So Jake and I want you to be able to walk away with recognizing when a student is stuck in a loop and how to help get them unstuck. We also want you to be able to identify when communication may be unreliable and to apply principles that create more purpose-filled movements. But first, we've got a bit more to our stories. So let's go back in my timeline to that 2015 aha moment when I recognized autism as more of a sensory motor disorder. So what happened? One of my families, this is Kagan. I've known Kagan since 2001. And in 2015, his mom called me up and said, Julie, we are flying you up to Colorado. I'm here in California. We're flying you up to Colorado to meet the real Kagan. I said, what do you mean, meet the real Kagan? I had no idea what that meant, but okay, awesome. Kagan had learned how to communicate through spelling. Here he is, I'm in Colorado, and he starts spelling to me. Now, I have to explain a little bit of who I knew Kagan to be. He's 18 years old at this point in time, and if you were to ask me, what should I get Kagan for Christmas? I would say, you know what? You can't go wrong with the Wiggles. This guy watches the Wiggles on YouTube over and over and over. He has a lot of speech, and he will ask you questions about the Wiggles and want very specific responses, and he just is all Wiggles, man. You can't go wrong. Now, here I am in Colorado, and Kagan starts spelling on this letterboard. And one of the things that Kagan shared with me blew my mind. He spelled out that he hates the Wiggles. What? I don't understand. What do you mean you hate the Wiggles? You spend many hours for many years all things Wiggles. I don't understand. And he spelled that he was stuck. He loved the Wiggles when he was a kid, and he just got stuck doing the same thing over and over and over. And he didn't want to be doing the same thing over and over. Whew. This was life-changing. Absolutely life-changing. And so I came home from this trip and I was on a mission. I needed to meet the real, insert every name of every person I've ever worked with, right? So luckily, one of my families that I'm super close with let me learn how to become a communication partner with their son, Elliot. Now, Elliot, through the years, again, I've known him for many, many years, and we all decided as a team that Elliot really gets anxious when he goes outside, when he goes anywhere. He will scream, "Time to go home," with tears in his eyes and a red face, and just, it looks miserable anytime we take him anywhere. And so the best bet was, the way for Elliot to live the happiest life was to just limit the places that he goes to. So that's what was happening for many years, and he seems pretty happy. As he learned to be able to communicate open-ended thoughts, his thoughts, he surprised me just like Kagan did. And he said, I want to experience the world. I want to do things. I want to live life, right? And so we said, okay, awesome, let's do it. What do you want to do? So he chose he wanted to go to a climbing gym, and we thought, okay, easy peasy. It's going to be good now. We'll just go to this climbing gym. Awesome, life has changed. We go to the climbing gym, and he can't get out of the car. He's screaming, he's crying. We finally get him out of the car, and you just feel like you're torturing this boy, and he doesn't want to be there. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? He's yelling, time to go home, and crying. And I put that board in front of him, and he spells, I want to stay. I need help. What? Okay. And we helped him take each step through that dysregulation to where he stood inside the climbing gym and he was able to stand and watch other people climb for a half an hour. And eventually, over time, he was able to go back to that gym and it got easier every time. And he learned how to put on a harness and start to make moves up that wall. So now I was on a mission to be able to just do this with every kid that I could possibly meet, right? So this is what brings me to Jake. And Jake and I started working together, and after quite some time, lots of practice, right? Jake too starts to share his thoughts. And in April of 2018, Jake spells out,
"My body is separate from my mind. My voice is not accurate. I get stuck doing the same stuff over and over. I have so much more in my head, but I am not able to get it all out. Stop treating my body like it is truth. Stop treating my brain like it is not there. I understand everything."
whew, wow, right? Wow. By the way, this is a photo from, it was my birthday, and his family surprised me with a heating pad in the shape of a sloth, which is my favorite animal, and a birthday crown. So here I am, so childlike. And here Jake is so grown up. He's so good. I love it. I love it. So, what is the brain-body disconnect, Jake? Fill us in.
When I think of what I want to say or do, but I can't get my body to do it. That is a daily disconnect I struggle with a lot.
I can see that, and I'm so grateful that we can know that. Yes. Wow. Another way to describe this is apraxia, which is a word I'm sure many of our families have heard early on, especially, but this word gets lost and nobody says, let's do something about this. It's been shoved to the side. So what is apraxia? Apraxia is a motor disorder in which the individual has difficulty with the motor planning to perform tasks or movements when asked, provided that the request or command is understood and the individual is willing to perform the task. Now, I think this is where the road divides and sends us off on this whole false path where we start to see our kids not responding when we ask them to do something, and we make up that they don't understand, or we make up that they're just not willing to do the task. But when there's apraxia, that's not true. They are understanding, they just can't get their body to do it. They are willing in many more cases than it appears. But the whole point is they can't get their body to do what they want it to do. So it's time we bring apraxia to the forefront and really work on purposeful movement. So Jake, I want you to describe what it was like to finally let us know your thoughts.
It was the world's biggest relief to finally let people know that I am not a dumb guy, and that I am actually paying attention. I can listen even when I am loud or moving around. I got to finally say I love you to my mom. That was the best feeling, because sometimes my rebel body would pinch her so hard, and I felt horrible, but I couldn't tell her that I was sorry. It was life-changing.
Right? That's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's got to feel so good to be able to say that, and also I'm sure for your mom to be able to hear that. Wow. Wow. Just so everyone knows, it wasn't all butterflies and rainbows. So I want you to tell us about the challenges you experienced when we first started working together.
The beginning was rough. The more I tried to do what you asked, the more my body resisted. It was frustrating, but it was different. You talked to my brain and you somehow knew that my body was not listening. I wanted to tell you that you were right. Instead, I yelled, ran away, and asked for water every 30 seconds. My anxiety was high, but I was relieved that you did not let my body win. Eventually I gained more control, and my frustrations with myself were replaced with feelings of pride.
Jake, that's really good to hear. It really is, because when we first started working together, right, I had heard from lots of other students that I work with that they want to do more than they're able to show us. But in those beginning stages, when it looks like you're resisting, it's hard to really know for sure, right? So it's really nice to hear that. So we actually have a video of some of your dysregulation from when we first started working together. But before we watch, can you let me know your honest thoughts on how I responded back then? Because again, I'm coming from this relationship-based background, and the way that I was trained that really resonated with me for many years, and I trained others in this as well, was when the person starts to get dysregulated, we back off, right? But in this case, my whole world had changed. I'm being told you want to learn more, and even when your body is dysregulated, sometimes that means you're trying even harder. It's so confusing. It was so hard to know what to do. And sometimes I felt really unsure all the time. I felt very unsure, but also, I didn't want you to feel like I'm being mean, right? So I'm just curious to hear your thoughts, your honest thoughts. You can say anything in the world to me.
I was trying so hard to be in control. I was fighting my body, not you. Thankfully, I could feel that you knew I was wanting to learn, even though I looked miserable. I hated the fight, but in the past, it was easy to give up when my outer body was fighting. Your confidence helped me believe that we were not going to let my impulses win. That helped my anxiety a lot.
So me being strong through the dysregulation actually helped ease anxiety. Yes, confidence is definitely something I had to really work on, and I didn't always know how to be confident. And so I had to find ways. What can I be confident about? I can be confidently not confident. That's something I can do. So I started to think about, what do I do when I'm confident? I might speak with more conviction. I might sit up taller. How do I hold myself when I am confident? And how can I embody that in a bigger way? That's one thing that I think I really learned from our time together. Okay, so we have a video here. And, this might be hard for some viewers to watch. There's going to be some dysregulation. We're going to start the video about a year into our journey, so you can see what it looked like at that stage in the journey. But we're going to then rewind to the very beginning of our time together when there was a lot more dysregulation, so that you can see what that looks like.
C
And
K
thankfully we stuck.
W
I
I
T
G
H I T.
done.
Cool. Beautiful. You're doing great, Bobby. You're doing great. You RSTANDING. Ready? Come sit. Ready? You got this, my friend.
Biden.
Let's set this over here. I'm gonna move it right there. Awesome. You got this. Ready? Nice and tall. Nice and tall. B R. Ready? You got it. You got it. You ready? Let's start.
L E L A.
Taste is tricky because I. Here, you can hold that. Because because I like the chance of many things, but I can't handle the pressure. Communication is more than talking. Can you hold this with that? Thank you. Can you hold, let me see. Can you hold this with the other hand? Thank you. Communication is more than talking. It's the lifeline to love, ready? L-O-V-E, L-O-V-E, friendship, F-R-I-E-N-D. Can you hold your cup? You got it. Friendship, F-R-I-E-N-D-S-H-I-P. Needs and success. Let's spell it. Breathe. I'll help you. Ready? Breathe. Ready? Yes. Breathe. Yes. Here we go. Ready?
B
Good. Elbow out. B.
L E A D H E.
Yeah, let's do a deep breath. Ready? That's good. One more deep breath. Good. Okay. Number 3. Houston, we have a sensory problem. Imagine being trapped in a room with everything you hate. Now picture how that makes you feel. Does your body feel calm and relaxed or bursting with anxiety? My guess is you chose bursting with anxiety. Welcome to the autistic sensory experience. Our sensory system is in constant overdrive, which makes it a challenge to participate in our everyday environments. So Jake, what helps when you are dysregulated while we are working on purposeful motor activities?
Your calming confidence makes loads of difference.
Yeah, I think it comes back to confidence quite a bit. That is something that we can all work on. And I think confidence in believing that you want to do more than you're able to show in that moment is so huge. It makes such a big difference. All right, so Jake and many others have expressed being stuck in loops. So what is a loop?
A loop is when we are on repeat.
Yep, that sums it up. So you can be on repeat with videos, with words, with actions, right? We can see that a lot. And are loops always something that you're stuck in, right? That's a pressing question here. And what's interesting is that each of these people that are able to start to communicate, I'm wanting to learn as much as I possibly can from everybody. And what have I discovered? Have we discovered? They're all human, which means everyone's a little different. Everybody's a lot different, right? So I have this handout here. It's actually a blog post from Jordan's Rocky Journey. And you can even look this up on his website, along with a lot of other amazing blogs that he writes. This particular blog is called I Love My Kitty Videos. So in this blog post, Jordan talks about his baby Einstein videos and how while he is a teenager and he's not motivated by or, loving baby Einstein as a character, he is able to find comfort and calm by watching these videos. So he wants to continue to watch them. If he knows he's going to have a challenging activity ahead, or he just had a challenging activity, those are often times when he will want to watch those videos. And then we have Kagan, who, says, please help me get rid of all things Wiggles. And I know, Jake, you've expressed that you have no interest in the Wiggles and, those sorts of videos, and that you're really wanting help learning how to watch age appropriate movies. And a lot of times you just need somebody to initiate it and put it on and just trust that you're going to take it in, and you're able to sit there longer and longer, and it's a skill that you're practicing and growing in, and it's amazing. So, how do you think parents and professionals can recognize when one of their students might be stuck in a loop?
We are often stuck, and are masters of making you get stuck in our loops with us. But I don't want to be stuck. I want to learn. The best thing you can do is to tell me you know I want to learn even when it looks unlikely. Give my body something easy and different to do. Always remember there is a disconnect between what I want to do and what I actually do.
I feel like we could read that 100 times and just let it seep in, right? Wow. Masters of making you get stuck in our loops with us. I think a lot of people can relate to that experience. Giving you something easy and different to do, remembering there's a disconnect between what you want and what we see. Amazing. So how can parents and professionals help when they suspect their students might be stuck in a loop?
A loop is when we are on repeat. A little of something is okay, but when it takes over we might need help. Too much of the same thing over and over is probably not helpful. You guys have loops you initiate and get stuck in too. Remember say cow? That's a loop too. Recognize your loops too. We can work on breaking free together.
I love that. I love that so much, and you are so right. We do get stuck in the loops too, and we initiate them. We're just as guilty. Wow, so that is huge. We can recognize our own loops and work on breaking free together. Amazing. So here's some other ways that I've also learned. I think one is asking myself, is it age appropriate? If it's not age appropriate, it's probably a loop. And is it regulating or dysregulating? Like Jordan said, right? Sometimes watching these videos can be calming, and that's a good thing. And then there can be moments and times where it is not calming, it's dysregulating. So it could be different on different days and different moments. So I think these are questions we can come back to. Is it age appropriate? And that just indicates whether or not it's a motivation. A loop isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just when it's too much, then it's not helpful, right? So is it age appropriate? Is it regulating or dysregulating? Good questions to come back to when we're checking in on loops. So how can we identify when communication might be unreliable? Jake, take it away.
I can pretty much make any sound and I can repeat lots. Making sounds is not the same as communication. The thoughts in my head are what I want to communicate, but a tiny fraction is what comes out, along with a bunch of added junk. Wishing my voice worked is a full-time job. Sharing my experience with you feels like a dream come true. It does not hurt.
So Jake, what helps when you are dysregulated?
Who I really am.
Sorry.
Thank you for giving me a place to share this.
That's a lot to take in, and every word is so important.
Back up a little bit.
Car. Experience with you feels like a dream come true. It does not hurt to believe that we have more inside than you can see. The pain of believing I am 2 years old when I am actually an adult is unbearable. I want to drive a car, talk smack with my sisters, and go to college dorms, but my voice sings children's Christmas songs. Being a Jewish man makes Christmas songs even more awkward. Songs I once loved are stuck on repeat and make me appear very different from who I really am. Thank you for giving me a place to share this.
That's a lot to take in, and every word is so important. So what helps you become more purposeful? What can people do to work on purposeful movements throughout the day?
Once you recognize how much impulse is always fighting, then you can learn to ignore much of it. Give me useful things to do. There are a million ways to involve me in life. I can cook with you. I can help carry groceries in and put food away. I can hand you the remote control when you want it. I like to feel useful. Everyone is used to always helping me, that they forget that I like to be helpful too. Teach my body how to participate. And remember that I understand everything you say. My mind listens and my body disobeys.
Of course, you want to be able to help others too. I love this. The ways to incorporate this into everyday life. Jake, that's huge. That's inclusion, right? I love it. I love it. Very well said. To review, right? We had our objectives here. The first one was to recognize when a student is stuck in a loop and how to help them get unstuck. So to review, remember you can ask, is it age appropriate? Is it calming or overstimulating? Is it potentially too repetitive? You can emote calming confidence and give the body something useful to do. And to identify when communication may be unreliable, again, you can ask, is it age appropriate? You can speak to the body differently from how you speak to the mind. So when you speak to the body, right, you're speaking to the apraxia. You want to break those steps down. But when you speak to the mind, you want to honor who that person is on the inside and speak to them age appropriately. To apply principles that create more purpose-filled movements, create useful activities in everyday life, and prompt the body while understanding that the mind wants to do more than you can see.
So big round of applause for Jake. Thank you so much, Jake. You put a lot of love and effort and energy into creating that amazing presentation to introduce you to the concept of the brain-body disconnect. And now we've got James. James is another one. He is here tonight in our audience watching. So hello, James. He's got a video to introduce himself. Right.
I am an adventurous advocate who wants to teach people about the myths of autism. I enjoy making art, going to Starbucks, learning a variety of subjects, and I communicate by typing out my thoughts.
Thank you, James. Okay, so we have a lot to learn from James, starting with a letter that he wrote to his parents. Now, a lot of parents will share that one of their apprehensions of pursuing communication is having this really real fear of, oh my goodness, if they've been paying attention this whole time, what are they going to say? Are they going to think that I'm awful, right? That is every parent's fear. And I will tell you, I have never, ever, ever heard any student that I worked with ever say anything remotely negative. They want to be able to communicate. And so here is a letter that James shared with his parents. And he actually, so he typed it up one letter at a time. And then he decided to make a video for his parents and read it to them.
All right, so James, you wanted to make this special video for your parents, so go ahead and press play. You got it. Yep, you got it.
Mom and Dad, you two mean the world to me. I cherish you both so much. I appreciate all that you do for me. Really deep emotions run when I realize how much you do to make sure I am successful. Please know you have done a great job. I am happy. Me and you make the Three Musketeers. I am grateful to have my independence. And I hope you two can enjoy your space. I feel good about this chapter of our lives. Love, James.
the best, right? James is amazing. And I know that felt so good for his parents to hear as James is embarked on the journey of adulting, right? And living separate from his parents. So that was really great to hear. And James has so much to say. He has another letter here. I'm going to just show you a little sample of James' spelling, and then I can read the letter for you.
So. Grateful. That. You.
Okay. So James writes, "Dear parents of unreliably speaking autistic people, I am so grateful that you are choosing to hear my words. I hope that you can share this message with your kids. I know you have so many important thoughts that are trapped inside your head. I want to tell you to keep trying to share them. Don't stop believing it is possible. I was in my late 20s when I started communicating my actual thoughts. I am so glad I never stopped trying to get my body to listen to the commands that I give it. Parents, help your kids by giving their body easy commands while speaking to them the same way you speak to anyone their age. Simplify movement instruction and also provide us with rich listening experiences. We are amazing listeners in our minds, yet our bodies are horrible listeners. Please know we are even more frustrated because our bodies rarely do what we ask it to do. We have common ground with that. Thank you for sharing my message with your kids." James, thank you, thank you. Thank you for sharing your message with us. And he wrote a letter for professionals as well. We know we have lots of different types of people here today. So James isn't leaving anyone out. He says, "Dear loved ones, I am so honored to share with you. I have so much to share. I want hope for educators because your hope is contagious. As a non-reliable speaker, I greatly needed teachers to know that I have so much more to say and do than what you see. The teachers who believe in me gave me hope. I am capable when we both have confidence in my abilities. Sometimes I need to borrow your confidence in me because I am in a constant battle between my intentions and my actions. This depletes my belief in my own abilities." And he continues, "When I see your encouraging face, hear your pleasant words, and feel your sheer belief in me, I gain the courage to keep trying despite having a body that ignores my commands. This is the sensory diet I need. Read my sentence again and think of the sensory experience you are providing for my overly sensitive nervous system. When I see your encouraging face, hear your pleasant words, and feel your sheer belief in me, I gain the courage to keep trying despite having a body that ignores my commands. Thank you for investing your hearts in the work that you choose to do." James, your words are so important and so valuable. And I know that this has been a big goal for you to be able to get your words out and help educate others. So congratulations, James, on getting your words out there. And we can't wait to hear more and more and more from you. Thank you, James. Okay, and now we're gonna meet Jacob. He sends smiles. He designs greeting cards and other fun things. And his mom tells stories over at Cards by Jacob on Facebook. So you can find them at facebook.com/homewithautism or search for Cards by Jacob. And he also has an Etsy shop where he sells all sorts of great creations of his. And all right, we're going to share about his journey with food. So one might guess that Jacob does not want to try new foods. Okay, so he ate 4 foods for years. That's it. And they were very specific to the brands. This is all from what his mom has shared on Facebook and what I know from them as well. So very specific foods. And at one point he was eating 16 hot dogs a day because he was growing and he was hungry. But it was their only choice. So I'm going to let you guys read more of their posts. I'm going to hit play on this video and you can kind of take it all in here. So this is just to give you a sample of Jacob trying new foods, what it's like when we introduce new foods to him.
It's hard.
I know, I can help.
Moving good.
Okay, you can do it.
I don't like oats.
I hear you. I know.
I don't like oatmeal.
You don't like it?
No.
You think it's awful?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you. It's different, isn't it? It's different. So this is pulled pork with mashed sweet potatoes and vegetables.
Apple pasta milkshake.
Yeah, sure. You can do that too. If you're still hungry after eating this. Because this is pretty fantastic. So it's a little warm. So I'm going to put it on the table now so it cools off a bit. Because I know you don't like stuff really hot. So I'm just going to put it here so you can look at it.
I don't want to go turkey.
It's not turkey. It's pulled pork.
I don't want to put pork.
Pulled pork.
I don't want to put pork.
I hear you. Eat your waffle.
I don't want to put
I know.
pork.
You don't have to eat it. You don't have to eat it. It's a special occasion food.
My coming back is turkey.
Of course we're going to come back to turkey.
I don't want to put chops.
It's pulled pork.
Pork.
It's different than pork chops.
It's hard.
I know it's hard. Hey, dear Jacob, happy birthday to you. Yay, look at that. It's a rainbow cake. How cool is that? Isn't that cool?
Yes.
I know. Piece of Cake by Jamie made this just for you.
I don't want to
that's a
bite it.
knife.
I don't want to bite
You
it.
don't have to bite it. Mom's gonna cut it and cut a piece for herself. Because Mom, the number one thing that Mom loves in the whole wide world, do you wanna know what it is? Cake.
I don't want to bite it.
You don't have to bite it, babe. Mom's gonna eat a piece of your birthday cake. You don't have to have any.
Won't.
Not at all.
Smoothie right now.
I know. We're gonna get you a smoothie. Right now, though, just pick that up and give it a bite.
I don't want to bite it again tomorrow.
Oh, you don't have to bite it again tomorrow if you don't want to.
Nope.
No.
It's hard.
Change is hard. I agree with you. Change is very hard. Change sucks. But you got this.
It sucks.
You got this. You can do it.
It sucks.
It does suck.
I don't want to move.
I know you don't. I don't like trying new things either. Go ahead. You
4
got
years
it.
old.
You got it.
4 years old.
You got it.
I don't want to bite it.
Okay.
I don't want to bite it tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't want to quit with crackers.
You don't have to quit Mary's Skunk Crackers.
Nope.
No.
I don't want to bite it again tomorrow.
No, you want to bite it again tomorrow?
No.
No. Okay.
Yelling.
Were you just yelling now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so, it looks pretty safe to assume that he does not want to try new foods. They had tried everything to see if he could try new foods, but nothing seemed to help. And for the sake of peace, his mom writes that she was satisfied with the limited 20-some foods that he had eaten for all these years. So he had expanded from 4 in his early years, 4 foods to 20 foods. But however, when they were traveling, they're in Ohio, they were traveling to California to come and see me, they decided to try eating regular foods off-brand from a menu on their travels at restaurants. And after a communication breakthrough, he ended up trying 43 new foods in 1 week. So what happened? What happened? And if you guys are craving more details, there's so much over on their Facebook page. I kind of pulled bits and pieces together here to share with you. Okay, so let's see what happened. Jacob started communicating. Now, this didn't happen overnight. He didn't just show up on our doorstep and suddenly he's communicating. His therapist that he's been working with for many, many, many years had been learning the letterboard with him for the past several years. So by the time he came to see me, he was ready. He was so ready. So let's watch and see what Jacob spells. And we laugh at his spoken response because he had already tried a few foods, new foods off the menu at this point in time. He hadn't done the 43 yet.
Jacob, is there a food that you would really like to try?
No.
I love it. I love it. Okay. I would love for you to also answer here. Okay?
Okay.
Nice. I love that you're setting yourself up. Yes.
M A K E make A L A
Straight to
S G A N A B
You trying to hit the space bar?
Lasagna
Okay. Make a lasagna. Wow.
lasagna A N D and G A R L I C garlic B R E A D bread J make a lasagna and garlic bread.
Yeah? I'm down with that.
I could.
It's one of my favorite things on the planet.
I love lasagna and
Yeah.
garlic bread.
Oh, God. We've never done anything remotely close to lasagna and garlic bread.
Really?
No.
That would be amazing.
We'll figure that out.
All right. So Jacob spells he wants to try new foods, right? Okay. But his body fights new foods. So I wanted to check in with how we could best support him. Let's see what he says.
So Jacob, I have a question.
Yes.
If mom makes lasagna and garlic bread, and the body does its old habits of kind of resisting a bit, what would help mom in that situation?
Yeah.
Yeah? And put that foot down? Yeah?
Badly.
Yeah, what about?
But
I-C-K. Stick.
Stick. You want to? Yeah. Okay. STIC. We deleted the K. Straight to it. You got it. You got it.
K.
Okay. All the way down. Yeah, all the way down. It's hard to get to that space bar for. Yeah.
Stick.
Stick.
D.
D. Good. Good. Straight to it.
S. T. E. R.
Get it.
N.
Okay.
Stir.
Okay. Straight to it. 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 Straight to
O.
it. Straight to it. Straight to it.
N.
Straight to it. Good. Straight to it.
M. E.
Straight to it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Straight to it. Straight to it.
Me. Stick stern on me.
Stick stern on me. Thank you for answering that question.
Sure. Stick stern on you all the way until you swallow it, all the way until it's swallowed,
Done.
all the way until you eat the whole damn thing.
Done. That's been.
Done with questions. All right.
That was amazing.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
What an interesting choice.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a solid.
Okay, so he also spelled out grateful to try new foods at camp. So we were about to go to a camp, a family spellers camp that we put on in Idlewild several times a year here in California. So he says grateful to try new foods at camp. Would love to continue at home. Going to be hard to try at home, so good luck to us. Try something new every day, but it works here because I don't have access to my usuals. So you have to trick my wild side by taking me out where I won't have access to my usual food. Mind blowing, right? I mean, my goodness. All right. So Jacob was off to an amazing start. His mom's been sharing his progress throughout. And I just want to also say, similar to Jake's situation, right? It's not always pretty. I'm showing you these beautiful spelling sessions, but there's challenges, right? But when you hear what they really want, you are motivated to work through these challenges, and they are too. So his body still fights it, right? Just like Elliot, just like everybody. Okay. So let's check it out. He ended up trying 50 new foods in 10 days. So he went from 20 of the same foods for years and years and years to trying 50 new foods in 10 days. Crazy. Okay. So his mom followed his instructions to trick his body. So let's watch. This is from that same video before where I was showing you with Jacob resisting.
I don't want to try.
You don't have to try. I'm just gonna. There's just a little bit on the fork, and you can just pick it up.
I don't want to pick it up.
You don't have to pick it up.
Don't want to go to foods.
Oh, I know. I know. She's a horrible cook. It's terrible. It's awful. Worst thing you'll eat all day. Nuts!
I don't want mashed potatoes tonight.
I hear you. I hear you.
It's hard.
It is so hard.
It's
Yeah.
smoked chicken.
Smoked. Okay. I can do that.
It's done.
Well, this time there wasn't any turkey there at all. I mean, there must be some sort of turkey, just a turkey shortage in the country somewhere, because I just couldn't find turkey anywhere. And then I remembered that I had these great meals from Gosha.
Going to give it a score.
Yeah, well, next time I'll go to a different store. Missing all the fun.
Without.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
No.
Nicely done.
No.
Good job.
I don't like it.
Oh, go ahead and just keep chewing it.
I don't like it.
Yeah. You don't think that's for you?
No.
Is it awful?
Yeah.
Really bad?
Um,
Yeah. I hear you.
Back to cooker.
Yeah. Yep.
Going to cooker.
Yep, that's what I'll do. That's awesome. That's amazing. Good job.
I gonna have to eat it all.
No, there's a lot of food there. You don't have to eat it all.
It's hard.
It is hard. You're rocking it. Nice. You're doing so great.
Mama going to get things going next
I will if you want me to.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah. Yeah.
I got want pork.
Pulled pork?
Pork.
That's the best part.
I got want to.
You don't have to.
From a bite.
Oh, he's working so hard. I love it. I love it. All right. So we've got more, right? They're keeping at it. They're still working. And we're going to watch some more videos.
It was hard.
Yeah, here, I can help you get some on your spoon. What do you want? Apples, bananas, or blueberry? Or a little bit of all of it? Okay, there you go. There's a good bite. Nice job.
It's cold.
It is a little cold, yeah. Did you not expect it to be cold? Was that a surprise? Yeah, that's the acai berry. It's kind of a little frozen, so it's kind of like it's like a smoothie on the bottom with the oatmeal on the top and then some fruit. And there's almond butter in there, apple and blueberry.
Got some new foods again next week.
Do you want new foods next week?
No.
No, you want to just stick with the old stuff?
Yeah.
All right. We can go back to old oatmeal as soon as we get it.
This morning.
This morning, yeah, we're sold out. So I got you some of Mom's. Go ahead and put that spoonful in your mouth. You're doing so great, buddy. That's awesome. I'll get you a bite that's not so cold.
Smoothie right now.
I'm gonna get you a smoothie. We'll throw that one away.
Smoothie right now.
I'm gonna get it. Go ahead. Put that in your mouth.
I don't want to bite it
You
again.
don't have to bite it again. I'm just gonna put a bite on here that doesn't have any cold in it and see if you like it.
I don't want to bite it again.
You don't have to bite it.
I don't want to bite it again.
I hear you. It's hard to bite. Nice job, buddy.
I could like the same.
You like everything the same all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. There is comfort in the sameness. I hear you. But you know where real growth happens, Jacob? Can I tell you? Can I tell you? Real growth happens outside your comfort zone.
I don't want to bite it
You
again.
don't have to, bud. I'm just getting some blueberries and some almond butter and a little bit of oatmeal on the bite.
Movie right now.
Okay, I'm coming.
I have to eat all.
No, you don't have to eat it all.
I don't want.
That's a good one. It's hard to get the perfect bite, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Next week.
So,
Next week.
next week, what do you think we should eat?
Take an oatmeal.
Regular oatmeal. All right. Let's see what's left in here.
I don't want to bite it again.
No.
can of oatmeal.
I hear you.
I don't want to bite it again. Don't want to bite it again.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it?
No.
Worst thing you've eaten all week, isn't it? Just terrible. Like, who the hell would want to eat this shit, right?
Well, my pink movie to go.
You can drink your smoothie whenever you want to drink your smoothie.
Not now.
No?
Done.
Okay.
He's amazing. So look at the process, the progress, right? Over time, some new foods, it's harder again, but as we introduce the same food, it gets easier.
Bake oatmeal.
Sold out. We are out of it and we are out of eat.
Buy me strawberry oatmeal.
Yeah, I'm gonna order more.
Strawberry oatmeal this morning.
We don't have any strawberry.
Strawberry and seed.
No, all we have is the peanut butter and you can't have the peanut butter.
Bake oatmeal this morning.
Yeah, we don't have any more. It's on back order.
Next time to get in front gate.
It'll be back next weekend for sure.
Buy me bake oatmeal.
Yep.
It's my next time to get in front gate.
What's that? Last bite?
Huh.
Go ahead. Way to go. Show me that empty bowl. Pick it up. Let me see it. It's empty. You ate it all.
Go, Jacob. Woo! All right. I just am in love with all these videos. So we're going to see a couple more, and then we're going to talk about how you can take steps to make this happen for you. There's a Q&A in this Zoom chat, so feel free to enter your questions. We'll have time for answering questions as well.
There you go. You got it.
Get the myth.
Oh, that's awesome.
Get the myth.
Go ahead, put it up to your lips. Nice. 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 That was amazing. Oh, I think you'll like the taste of that. You'll like the taste of that.
I don't want to bite it.
Oh, do it.
I don't want to bite it.
You can do it.
Whole Foods.
Oh, Old Foods or Whole Foods?
Whole Foods.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Every year.
Oh, yes. Certainly.
Not to graduate.
Nope, not to graduate. Amazing.
Not to skip.
Awesome. You don't have to skip anything, honey. That was incredible.
Mm.
Nice job.
Mm.
Way to go.
Mm.
Nice.
Mm.
That was fantastic.
Mm.
It's not too bad, is it? Pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Biting hard.
Fighting is hard. I agree. It is hard.
I don't want to quit Mary's Gone Cracker.
You do not have to quit Mary's Gone Crackers. Nope.
Nope. Mm.
That is
Mm.
awesome.
Mm.
Good job, my friend. Good job.
Mm.
Kicking ass. You kicking ass?
He is. All right, last video. I added this one at the very last minute because they just posted this the other day. So Jacob went to a restaurant back in Ohio, which this is unheard of. And he, instead of talking about how he doesn't want to be eating new foods, he not only ordered off a menu, without resistance, a lot of resistance, he chatted with his mom about other stuff. So let's check it out while he ate all these new foods, brand new foods.
Confirmed.
Terrible song. Awful song. Is that the worst No Doubt song of all of them? Yeah. Are there any that are as bad as Just a Girl? Yeah.
I'm just a girl.
Very whiny, isn't it? It's very whiny. How are the fries?
Good.
Yeah. Can I have another one?
I'm going to Springboro.
Oh, from Springboro. Which way do you think you should go from Springboro?
Gate in.
It's closer. That is, yeah. Yeah. Which one's closest to our house?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. How do you feel about the steak?
I don't know.
Don't know yet?
Yeah.
You're gonna wait a few more bites and then decide?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
Mom likes to pick up the fish.
Yeah, I'm good with that bridge. It's pretty nice as far as bridges go. Doing great, thank you.
Dumb fish.
It is a dumb bridge.
If big fish grows.
Then what are we gonna do?
51 to 255.
Ooh, good plan. I like it. Dude, you ate that whole steak. You ate the
Big
whole
yellow
thing.
fish.
I know.
Big yellow fish.
Do you like the big yellow bridge? Yeah. You ate that whole steak. That is fantastic.
Mom likes the big yellow fish.
I'm good with the big yellow bridge. Yeah. That was awesome.
French fish.
I know. I don't like the French bits. I'm so proud of you right now. You know it?
Yeah.
Are you full or are you going to eat some more fries?
Pretty amazing, right? Oh, so that's Jacob's journey. Thank you, Jacob, for sharing your journey with us. All of this, all of those new foods only happened because he was able to communicate about his brain-body disconnect and what he really wants. So how can you get started? That's the big question. So my company is called Autistically Inclined, and we've got services there that I'll share about. We also, I have a partnership with Communication for Education, and I will share about what we do over there as well. And there's lots of other companies out there. I encourage you to work with as many people as you can. But I wanted to share, before I tell you a little bit more about these resources, this is a PDF in the middle here that we use at Communication for Education, and these show some different response methods. So a lot of people jump to the keyboard. A lot of what you saw today was the keyboard, but that's not where we start. You saw a little bit of video from Jake's early days. We started on a different boards before we made our way to the keyboard. And so many people are anxious to get there. But I just want to make it very clear that it's not always the best place to start. There's a lot of loops that are already established on a keyboard. They're going to YouTube nonstop, right? And they're typing in all their major things. There's a lot of competition. Plus, there's a huge visual field. They're teeny tiny targets. There's a whole method of how we get there. So we use things like whiteboards. We use stencil boards. We use paper laminate boards. And we typically use those before we get to the keyboard. So that's just to give you an idea of the process and how we get there. And there's very specific steps to all of that. So some different ways you can get there. Autistically Inclined, we've got Sprout Kit, Grow Kit, and Flourish Kit. 3 different levels of Flourish. There's Flourish Light, Flourish, and Flourish Plus. Sprout, we're going to talk all about mindset. So a lot of this is a whole mind shift, right? Mind blown. So Sprout really lays a great foundation. You can just listen and take it all in. Those are videos that I've created. Grow gives you some everyday actions that you can take, working on purposeful movement and growing your connection with your loved one. And then Flourish is where we jump into communication, and we teach you how to go through these steps to start spelling with your loved one. And then we also have group lessons, all sorts of support. We have accountability, an accountability coach who's a parent who will connect with people who are in our Flourish community, where she will check in with you every month, help you get clear on what your personal goals are, and check in with you to help you reach your goals. And we have lots of community support as well. So tons of stuff. You can schedule a free discovery call on our website under sessions, and you just go to the private sessions and there's a free discovery call. So please feel free to do that. And then I wanted to share a little bit about communication for education. So this was our pandemic project. My colleague Lisa from Reach Every Voice, she's based in Maryland. She and I partnered up to create Communication for Education. We were sponsored by the Autism and Communication Center at California Lutheran University and Dr. Edlin Pena. And we got grants for $140,000, which is amazing to be able to create our dream course. We got a ton of different people to contribute to the course, including Mona De La Hook and Barry Prezant and Judy Human, along with a ton of non-speakers. So if you enjoyed hearing from the non-speakers tonight, you will enjoy this class. This is a very deep dive into becoming, bringing communication to educational environments. So we have lots of parents who take this course, teachers, educators, aides, SLPs, OTs, and there's 4 different ways that we offer the course. You can take our a live 8-week class. We've got self-paced options and then group options. If you want if you want to train 5 people, you can get access to 5 licenses. We know turnover is so hard in our community. So if you have a team member who leaves, you can just swap out their license for another team member for a small fee. So if you have a team that you want to train, that would be an ideal way. So communicationforeducation.com is where you can learn more about that. And our final slide says, thank you so much. I want to make sure we have time for this Q&A. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And if you guys have more questions, please feel free to add them here. I'm going to read them out and answer them one by one. So how do you become an assistive technology specialist? So, I got a certificate at CSUN, California State University, Northridge, in assistive technology. I will tell you, though, that is not where I learned how to be a communication partner. That is a different set of training. There are different, Jessica went there too. Amazing. I loved it. And that kind of leads me to one of the questions in the chat bar. It says, is this RPM or S2C? So I got my training in S2C, which is spelling to communicate. I decided not to become a certified practitioner because I want to be able to have the freedom to learn from everyone. So I learned from RPM, I learned from S2C, and I learned from all sorts of different places. And so over at Communication for Education, we call it text-based communication. We keep it very general. We don't subscribe to one methodology for everyone. And it's a very multidisciplinary approach over there at Communication for Education. And then Rebecca also asked, would a program such as Proloquo to Go take less time than typing? So it could, but the challenge with something like Proloquo to Go is you are limited to the pictures that are on there. So there's Proloquo to Go, which has different pictures that the student can touch, and it will create a word, right? And they can string different pictures together to create a sentence. And then Proloquo for text would be a keyboard. And I use a Bluetooth keyboard that pairs with Proloquo for text on the iPad. So that's what I'm using in these videos. With Proloquo to go, the challenge is that we determine what words your student can use. And that has limits, right? And when you can teach them to point to one of 26 different possibilities, then the options are limitless. They can say anything. So I would rather put energy into text-based communication to be able to open up that world of possibilities for them to be able to choose what they want to say rather than me choose. And Wendy, hi Wendy, I know Wendy, says, when did Jacob begin to resist food, or did he always resist new foods? So Jacob, the first several years of his life, ate like 4 foods. As he got a little older, he ate like 20 foods until this last summer. And he has always resisted it. So, yep. And then Gail says, how long does it typically take for an adult to begin to type his thoughts? Ooh, it is a variable question, variable answer, I should say. It's different for everyone. So I was working with, there's some triplets that I know. They're all adults. 2 of them are autistic and have unreliable speech. And so I go to my first session and I start with the typical starting point, which is breaking up the alphabet onto 3 different boards, having larger targets, less targets, right? And in that first session, with one of those 2 triplets, we were working on those very beginning stages of just trying to get accuracy on those boards. Now with her triplet brother, he progressed really quickly, and I was able to actually jump several steps in that first session with him. So you never know, right? Everybody's motor profile is different, sensory is different, how much support you have is different. Yeah, but I would say try to work with somebody and get that support. And the most ideal thing is for us to be able to train you on how to do this so that your kids have access to communication 24/7. It can take years. It can take, it takes a lot of practice, a lot of learning. It took me years to learn. And now that I've grown my skills and I have a lot of experience with lots of different people, I can have faster success, but it doesn't mean it happens like that with everybody. But everybody makes progress. I will tell you that. It's so worth it. Do it, do it, do it. Wendy, does Jacob feel any different after trying so many new foods? So that's a great question. So he is not able to have open communication at home yet because they're still building their skills together. So I will be seeing him again in November, and I will keep you posted. And we'll find out. Yeah. Gabriella, is this method of communication recommended after you have tried other methods first, or should we be trying it all to see what works for them? Oh, so good. Try it all. Don't give up. You know, I have some families who might have seen, remember Jake's video where he was having a lot of dysregulation in the beginning. I am so grateful to his family for sticking with it, even though there was dysregulation, even though there was some messiness, like we were able to work through it. I think there's something to learn from everyone. And I also feel like the more you can learn, right? I'm learning from all the different programs, all the different approaches. As we know with any therapy, right? You could have an awful ABA therapist and the most amazing ABA therapist. It's not really about the method. It's about the person, right? So I encourage you all to work with people and learn from everyone. Heather, what was the website for the Grow course? That is autisticallyinclined.com. That's my website. So autistic, ALLY, inclined.com. It's Autistically. Beautiful. And then we have Haya. Do you ever have people using traditional AAC using icons together with spelling, or you stick only with spelling, even though it may be harder to get more accurate, quick communication? I am a fan of all things communication, so give them all the tools, right? As somebody who is a speaking person, sometimes I work better over text. Sometimes I work better over email. Sometimes I communicate in all different ways. So the more tools we can give to our kids, the better. When I'm dysregulated, I'm not able to use my speech in my best capacity, right? And so sometimes writing things out is easier for me in those moments. So same with our kids, our students, if they have access to more tools, that's awesome. Wendy, and then Tara says, I am a special ed teacher. What do you suggest for students with heavy echolalia when trying to teach them to use a communication letterboard? Yes, I have experienced this. The very first person that I learned with has a very heavy echolalia. I like that term. So I would do things like whisper, do a lot of whispering. One of the first sessions I observed with Kagan, who hates the wiggles, when I was observing, he was screaming at the top of his lungs and yelling. And his teacher, the practitioner, was whispering. And I remember being so blown away because I can't hear her. How on earth can he hear her if he's the one yelling? But he was answering her questions. And it just reminded me, it just shows you that their sensory systems work differently than ours do, right? I can't take all that in, but they're taking it all in. They are taking it all in and then some. So whispering helps. Sometimes writing stuff out on a paper and me being silent and having them read it helps. So lots of different things. Come check us out at Communication for Education, Tara. We would love to be able to go into more detail with you there. And two more questions. Nilab, any other diagnoses that would hinder a person's ability to be successful in typing? Great question. So you know what's so fascinating? So interesting is that we've been seeing more and more success with people with Down syndrome being able to communicate through typing, through text. And we're seeing a lot of the same brain-body disconnects. So I think there's always a way to, some people might have greater challenges with their motor system, let's say cerebral palsy or whatever it may be. But I think there's always a way to be creative and to figure it out. So I would want to work as hard as I can to find a mode of communication for anybody who is not able to communicate. And one last question, Ritu, unless we have to go, cut me off.
No, you're good. We actually have a couple more questions in the chat too.
Beautiful. Oh, good. Okay. So Ritu is 5 years old. Good time to start for non-speaking student. What are the prerequisites to start text-based communication? Fantastic. So glad you guys are asking these questions. So 5 years old is a great time. We've had people as young as 4, 3 even. Typically people are still focused on speech when they're 3, 4. But oh my goodness, with a typical 4-year-old, we're introducing spelling, right? The alphabet, phonics, all of that. We're showing them letters and recognition. So absolutely, at Communication for Education, we're actually working with 3 different school systems right now. One of them is a preschool. So there's definitely ways to work with younger. There are no prereqs because part of the learning process when we're doing this is teaching all these things. with spelling and everything. And then there's one more question in the Q&A, and then I'll go over to the chat bar. Can this work with verbal kids? My son can form clear words, but maybe gets stuck with creating using sentences. Absolutely. Another great question. So, similar to like Jacob, you can have lots of conversations with him too, right? But we've definitely seen some who have very clear speech, who can form those clear words, but they have so much more to say. So my kind of rule of thumb is, if what's coming out of their mouth is not age appropriate, then they probably have a lot more to say. And so I would definitely explore text-based communication to be able to help them get all those thoughts out. All right. So you guys want to tell me what the questions are in the chat bar?
Sure. We have two people. One wanted to know if you have any resources in Ohio, and another one in Silicon Valley and San Francisco area. Are there, yeah, do you have any recommendations for local practitioners, or can your program be done virtually?
Right. So I am all pretty much 90% virtual. All the families I work with are all over the world. So definitely check out autistically.com. And then we can also help connect you with local practitioners, local people, or people who might be closer to you for more in-person work. Yes. And I might be coming out to Ohio more. I have family in the Bay Area, in Sacramento, so I go up there. So I travel a lot as well. So I would recommend do Flourish so you can start learning. And then when you're able to work with a practitioner, whether it's me or somebody else in person, you'll have a much better understanding of what you're watching and how to do it yourself. And also, like with Jacob, right? So somebody started with him in Ohio. And they worked, I was training them, right? And then when they brought him to me, we were able to do so much more because of that work.
And last question, this was great. Is it okay to have my daughter pre-type sentences for socialization and requests in the Proloquo text app?
Ah, great question. Yeah, you know, any form of communication is so helpful. So I think, yeah, having it prepared and having it there for her. I've used that feature occasionally in Proloquo as well. When you're out in the community, sometimes it's nice just to be able to choose a sentence that you've already prepared. Yeah, beautiful.
Perfect. I know we are over, Julie. This was great. So much information. I don't know if you can see some of the comments coming up, but people have appreciated all the great ideas and look like they're planning on using, testing them out at home to see if they work. So thank you so much. I appreciate this. We have recorded it. We will be sending it out and along with Julie's presentation with her permission. And just thank you all for joining tonight. We appreciate you being part of our community. And Julie, again, thank you for all you do for our community. It's been great.
Thank you.
It
was wonderful.
Yes, so it was. And thank you to Miss Liliana for translating, interpreting. So we appreciate everybody for coming out. Have a great evening. Good night, everybody.
Thank you all. Good night.